back. Here we go. Equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. Parallel lines have the same slopes. Perpendicular lines have negative reciprocal slopes. In terms of point slope form, something from last year, the point slope form is y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. I want to show you also a shortcut to find the slope as opposed to doing the slope formula. So I'm going to pull up a blank piece of paper here. A couple things to remember also. Slope-intercept form is the y equals mx plus b. Standard form is ax plus by equals c. Shortcut, and this is what I'm going to use pretty often, shortcut to slope is going to be this. Slope equals negative a over b. That means if you happen to be in standard form, instead of having to put the equation into slope-intercept, all you need to do is take whatever the value is attached to x, which is your a, take whatever is attached to y, which is b, and then do the negative of a over b. So I'll probably use that a lot. It just makes it a little bit quicker. So you can choose to do the slope how you want, basically. All right, with that, let's go back to this first page. So find an equation of the line that passes through the point 6, negative 2. By the way, this is your x1 and your y1. Hopefully you remember this. And it's parallel to the line whose equation is negative 4x plus y equals negative 2. I'm going to use the shortcut to find the slope. I just like that better. So my slope then is going to be the opposite of a, all over b. In this case, my a happens to be negative 4. My b happens to be 1. And my slope comes out to be double negatives, so my slope is 4. To be parallel to that, I need to have a parallel line has a slope that's the same. So what I need to do now is to use my point slope form, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1, and dump in all the pieces that I know. y1 negative 2, slope m is 4, and x1 is 6. When I do my math, I can't forget that this becomes y plus 2 when you distribute 4x minus 24. You need to subtract 2 on both sides, and the equation of the line that's parallel to the given line would be this, y equals 4x minus 26. Okay, so then here we try another one. That was a sheet that we put in. So find an equation of a line that passes through the point 2, 0, and is perpendicular to the line whose equation is 4x plus y equals 7. We're looking for perpendicular, negative reciprocal. Shortcut for slope, negative a, negative 4 over b over 1. Negative 4 equals the slope. If I want to be perpendicular, my slope has to be the negative reciprocal, 1 over 4. And now I go back to my point slope. Y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. My y1 is 0. My m is a fourth. My x1 is negative 2. I've got double negatives in here. Y minus 0 is essentially just y. When you distribute in 1/4, you get 1/4 x plus 2/4, but hopefully you know that 2/4 is just 1/2. So the equation of the line that's perpendicular ends up being this. Okay. Then we get to number 3. Find an equation of a line that passes through the point 6, negative 5, and is perpendicular to the line whose equation is this. So again, in terms of doing the shortcut, I will do it like this. My slope is negative a, negative 3 over b, negative 1/5. Well, that looks a little bit funny, I get it, but you could actually also say that that would mean negative 3 is being divided by negative 1/5, which means that negative 3 to divide by a fraction is to multiply by the fraction's reciprocal. Therefore, 15 equals your slope. Kind of a crazy slope, but that's okay. Oopsie. Because you're being perpendicular, then your slope of a line that is perpendicular to what's given is the negative reciprocal. So I'm looking for a slope of being negative 1/15. Don't worry about this being a fraction. It's not a big deal. Point slope, y minus y1 equals m, x minus x1. What are we dumping in here? Y1 is negative 5, and then the slope is negative 1/15, and then the x1 is 6. Again, when you do your math, you've got double negatives here, so you get y plus 5 equals negative 1/15 x plus 6/15. Then what you need to do at this point is you need to subtract 5 from both sides. So when you do that, and we worry about things being in the same types of fractions, by subtracting 5, remember negative 5 is going to be, in this case, the same thing as, get this into 15ths, 5/1 is going to be, hold on for 1, ouch, it's falling off. Okay, sorry about that. My headphones are falling off there. All right, so let's get back to here. Subtract 5 from both sides, and the fact that we're dealing with 15ths means that you need to get a common denominator. So negative 5/1 is equivalent to negative 75/15. And so now when you do the math here, it's a weird looking kind of equation, but y equals negative 1/15x, and then 6 minus 75 would be minus 69/15. Okay. If we keep going, we want to find an equation of a line that passes through the point 4, 6 and is parallel to the equation who has that particular equation, 3y minus 2x equals 15. Again, if I do the shortcut for the slope, my slope then becomes negative a. Whoopsie, you got to be careful here, as I almost wasn't, because you need to realize that this is the same thing as negative 2x plus 3y equals 15. So almost tricky there. So a is what's attached to x. Negative a becomes a positive 2 all over b. We know that we want to be parallel, so then parallel lines have the same slopes. So when we go into our y minus y1 equation, y minus y1 equals m x minus x1, and we are going to dump in 6 for y1, 2/3 for m, and 4 for x1. Y minus 6 equals 2/3 x minus 8/3. And we're dealing again with having to do with these fractions. So if we add 6 to both sides, remember 6 as a fraction in terms of thirds is equivalent to, in this case, 18/3. So your equation, when you finish it up with simplifying, is y equals 2/3 x, negative 8 plus 18 plus 10/3. Okay, last but not least, here we go. Find an equation of the line that passes through the point negative 3, negative 1, and is parallel to the line that passes through these guys. Well, we need to find that slope first. Here you've got no choice but to use your slope formula. Slope is the change of y's over the change in x's. The y's would be 3 and 6. The x's would be 3 and 0. The math comes out here to be negative 3/3, which negative 1 equals your slope. Because we're dealing with parallel lines, the slopes are the same, negative 1. And now we can deal with the point slope formula. Y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. Once again, we dump in the y1, the m, the x. Watch out for our double negatives. Do your math. Y plus 1 equals negative 1x minus 3. Subtract 1 on both sides, and voila, we are done. So y equals negative 1x minus 4. So that's it. So bottom line is just make sure that you're very careful as to whether you're dealing with the line that's perpendicular or parallel to in terms of having same slopes or negative reciprocals. There might be a time when you need to change some fractions into or some whole numbers into fractions. You should be able to do that as well. And that's it. So good luck with the homework, and I will see you guys later. All right, bye.